Welcome to the Performer Radio Show. Each week, we interview some of the most interesting people in the fashion and entertainment industries. Fashion and entertainment industries. Beautiful models, singers, comedians, dancers, fashion designers, actors, beauty queens, and many more. Join our hosts, Mike Zotos and Tony Hyppolite, publishers at Performer.com, Models and Talent Magazine, as they make the pages come alive. Right here on the Performer Radio Show.
Happy 2013, everyone, and welcome to the Performer Radio Show here on IDEO.com. My name is Mike Zotos, and boy, we were really dying to get back in the studio here. We've been off since December 18th, only because our show was on Tuesdays, and Christmas and New Year's were both on Tuesdays. In the booth this evening, we have Mr. Tony Hyppolite.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Tony, how was your Christmas and New Year's?
Christmas was very nice. Christmas was simple. I don't know. I have no complaints. I got a nice little gift. I got socks.
I got slippers, so there we go. We can share if you need to. And we have the lovely Amarie Ortiz as our co-hostess this evening. Hi, say hello.
Hello, everyone.
There she is. She's gorgeous. Amarie is a KarmaLoop.com model too, right?
I am.
Yes.
And for KarmaLoop TV.
KarmaLoop TV. Now, you guys have been doing an awful lot lately. I mean, doing live broadcasts. You did Black Friday and a few other things before Christmas too. How many hours did you have to stay in the studio for that?
Well, the first one that we did, it was a full 24 hours.
24
I
hours?
Slept an hour because you know what? The first one was kind of an experiment. So a lot of it was just on us and the girls and about how much we can do and sell and the games we can come up with. So we were there for 24 hours. We roughed it out with Selco. We did it like a team. We trooped it out. But
you're talking about Greg Selco, so people know who it is.
Yeah,
he's
Greg
the
Selco.
CEO of KarmaLoop.
Yeah, and then the other ones have been about 12 hours, 10 hours. They're long shifts, but it's really fun.
How do you prepare yourself for a 24-hour shift on TV? I mean, I could barely last 5 hours, going straight. I mean, come on, that's ridiculous.
It's a lot of Red Bull and a lot of energy. You need to love it.
Do they have cases of it there for you girls?
I'm not lying. Yes, they do.
Wow.
But you need to have a personality for it. You need to love it. You need to always stay on your toes.
And this is not just something you wear one outfit and that's it. You're changing constantly throughout that 24 hours, aren't
Yep.
you?
We have an awesome wardrobe stylist, and they hook us up with KarmaLoop shoes and outfits. It's great. But the good thing about it is that every time that we do it, it expands. Mm-hmm. Now we have celebrity guests. Now we have other hosts. So it's not so much just us on the camera 24/7. We have a lot of people more involved. It's getting bigger every time, so everyone stay tuned.
And how many young ladies do they usually have on at a time?
Now it actually is just subsidized to 3 in a campaign with just me, Gia, and Julie. So we just had a photo shoot with KarmaLoop, and every time they're going to use us as marketing and stuff like that. So it'll be us 3 alongside the hosts and celebrities and everyone else, but we are like the 3 main girls.
So was that first video, that first live promotion thing, was that like a test pilot to see how well it would go, and then now they're going to do it more?
It was, Greg always likes to think outside the box.
Yeah.
So I think it's an idea that he had. Mm-hmm. He didn't think it would go so well as it is. Mm-hmm. One of our streams was more viewed than Fox News that time.
I can believe that.
Yeah, it was. Their second show.
Let's just say it was a late night, and I'm sure they had a lot of viewers at that particular point in time.
Fox KarmaLoop.
Yeah,
What do you watch?
It's been doing really, really well. We're really
That's fantastic. And so you are doing regular print work for them as well.
Yes.
We should say web work.
Yes,
for them as well. And our other co-hostess, Jessica Graff, is also a KarmaLoop model too. She does mostly for MissKL.com, which is the strictly the ladies KarmaLoop website. So what's in the future for you right now? I mean, you're going to continue doing the KarmaLoop TV. What else you got planned?
Yes, I have a couple of projects that I might be doing TV-wise that I can't really talk about. But
Come on.
Spill the dirt. Come
no,
on.
Everyone needs to just sit and wait. No, I'm doing my correspondent stuff. I do a little acting here and there, but in the near future is going to be TV for me. I definitely want to eventually do correspondent work.
Correspondent as like
later on, we have SJ Torres in the house who owns Dirty Water TV. Okay. So we got to try and do a hookup there.
Exactly.
This is a beautiful girl. She needs to be on television 24/7.
Entertainment.
Oh, so you want to be I guess Ryan Seacrest wouldn't be a good example. I don't watch TV, so but
she looked in a suit though. But
kind of like I did Boston Fashion Week, the behind the scenes. I did all the interviews for that, so kind of stuff like that.
Okay,
red carpets.
Red carpet. I mean, E Entertainment, or you know. Or
I just couldn't think of the name of the host.
You're thinking of Maria
basically
Menounos.
I want to be Maria Menounos.
Maria
That's
Menounos,
exactly what it is.
Is she Dominican and Irish like you?
She's not.
Okay.
What a great mix, Dominican and Irish too. I don't know. That's a very unique mix from the very pale to the very dark.
No, everyone always asks me, they're like, how did a Dominican and Irish meet and get together?
They both like
I
alcohol.
ask that all the time.
We're going way back now, aren't we? Like what Facebook says, born date. Okay,
Yeah.
there we go. Now you're based in New England, though, right?
Yes, I'm based in New England.
Yeah, and you've done most of your stuff in Boston for right now. What you said you've done some acting. What kind of roles have you had?
Be ready to prepare to laugh.
Oh, well,
I did.
I'm always ready for
I
laugh.
shot, aside from the indie films that I had done, I shot a pilot for a movie that was being pitched to Paramount, and it was a scary movie, and I was a cheerleader and I died, but
Okay.
I was a popular cheerleader that died in the bathroom. But
you're the type of girl that like has expressionless face, doesn't know what the heck is going on. Next thing you know, blood and guts everywhere.
No, it was an awesome experience. It's actually really difficult to die on camera.
Why?
Over and over again, dealing with
Over
blood,
and over again, yeah.
Because
I
you know
can
what,
see
you have to pay attention to so much, your surroundings, the blood coming out of this, and it's like a dance kind of how the guy puts you in the. It's a whole thing.
Wait, so like a scary so not scary movie.
And it's based in the 80s. It was an 80s scary movie.
Oh,
was it?
Yeah,
it was
it was
a period thriller or horror film, huh?
Mm-hmm.
That's hard, even harder to do because I mean, you are what, 22 maybe? I'm guessing
23.
23. Okay, close. I was pretty close.
4,000.
Well, I'm just saying. I mean, she didn't even grow up during that period, so she has to play a role and die. Oh, kudos to you. That's definitely much harder. Yes. Well, definitely. All right, we're going to be back in just a couple of minutes here. We've got a great lineup for you tonight. We have coming up Miss Scarlette Arielle, who is the current Miss Central Massachusetts, 2012 into 2013. Later, and also, joining her is Iva Nicole's back again, who owns Exclusives Music and Fashion Boutique out in Worcester. And she's also the coordinator for the Miss Central Massachusetts pageant. Later on, as I said before, we have Mr. SJ Torres from Dirty Water News, Dirty Water TV. He also owns The Place and a bunch of other great spots, Down, Howl at the Moon. So he's got some great stories to tell us. And ending this segment this evening, we got Mr. Eric Snyder, photographer extraordinaire, and his lovely model Ellysa, who is also a Beantown beauty. So we get second show in a row that we've had the Beantown beauties in here and being well represented. All right, we'll be back right after this break.
Thank you.
If you've ever been to a Gloria Estefan concert, you know that there are few stars who can match her presence, performance, and talent. The time Gloria first experienced the thrill of being on a stage performing for people was also one of the first times she learned to stretch her wings.
My fondest memory of music in school was when I was playing the clarinet. I played the clarinet from 5th to 8th grade in the school band. My mother was pretty strict and never let me go anywhere, but of course, since it was part of the school program, she allowed me to go to Tallahassee, the capital of our state here, on a competition with the school band. Of course, to me, this was incredibly exciting. It was the first time I was allowed to go out of my home without a parent. We had chaperones, but we went there, participated in a 3-day program, and it was some of the most beautiful memories I have as a child.
A PSA brought to you by MENC, the National Association for Music Education, Gibson Guitar, Baldwin Piano, and this station. Music, part of a sound education.
Chillin' in Jeremy's riding down the expressway with Lisa, Victor, and David and his sister Shantae. Dave lights a cigarette during the ride that unleashes a cloud of cyanide. We're all having fun, kicking be so sick, but we're sitting there breathing is arsenic. I'm feeling those fumes all down in my spleen, ammonia and methane and benzene. I roll down a window, stick my head outside, but I can't escape the formaldehyde. Carbon monoxide, chloroform too. I don't wanna be no goody two shoes. I just want to hang at the mall, not sucking a bunch of nicotine, y'all. One lit cigarette instantly gives off 4,000 chemicals that you breathe in. A lot of them known to cause cancer, even if you're not the one smoking. Secondhand smoke. Is it worth it? To get the facts, check out worthit.org.
And we're back again. And this time in the studio we have the lovely Miss Scarlette Arielle and Iva Nicole. I love these exotic sounding names. Amarie, Scarlette Arielle, and Ellysa. All these beautiful women in here tonight. Of course, we have a bunch of men sitting in the lobby, too, just hanging around after the last show. Big Sauce is just kind of like, yeah, we're just going to chill for a few seconds. So, Scarlette, hi.
Hello, how are you?
Look at this big smile on this girl. Everyone will see this later on when they see the video. Now, I actually met you sort of back in July when I was one of the judges for the Miss Central Massachusetts pageant. And at that point in time, you became the first runner-up.
Yes,
Okay.
I did. Mm-hmm.
Now, as people always say, that first runner-up, they always say this, that the first runner-up is so special and important just in case. And in this particular case, it actually came true because the winner at that night was Miss Sarah Kidd, and she went on to become Miss Massachusetts USA in November. And by default, you're in. And that's an awesome thing because now you get to fulfill those roles. Because she was Miss Central Massachusetts for how long, Eva? For about 5 months? 4 months?
Yes.
4 months. Okay, so you get the rest of that period of time to do everything that she was going to do, and you just dove right into it, didn't you?
I sure did, and it's actually funny, and what a coincidence it was, because originally I was speaking with Sarah right after the competition, and I was like, we were just joking around, and she was like, well, if I win Miss Massachusetts, you get to be the new Miss Central Mass, and it was such a coincidence that we actually talked about it, because it actually did happen. So
and I was actually with Eva at the Lowell Memorial Auditorium, and it was right down to the last two, and then I saw Eva just like light up like a big giant spotlight the minute they announced Sarah's name.
I wasn't so really surprised.
You want to put the mic a little closer to you, sweetheart? There you go.
Well, I wasn't really that surprised, but it was really a tough decision because when you see all these beautiful girls, it's like, oh my God, like, which one of them is gonna...
72 of them, as a matter of fact.
And then, then there was Regan, right?
Regan hardly came in second.
And Regan and Sarah were head-to-head, and, Regan is, like, former Miss New Hampshire.
Former Miss New Hampshire and the Miss America.
It was a tough decision.
It was tough. The last two, when we knew both of them, and it was
Sarah
a little...
was beautiful.
They were both very well qualified to be Miss Massachusetts.
I always wonder about the politics. I'm a model, so I feel like models and pageant girls are a little different.
Mm-hmm. They are a little
So
different,
I always wonder if behind the scenes, is it true all the cattiness and everything? Give us the deets.
Well, you know what? As me being a model as well and running a pageant, it's like I see a lot of similarity because maybe in a different way, but they all want to shine. Mm-hmm. All of us, they want talent. Like, we all want that spotlight. So, because for the models that are not 5'9" or something, they get into pageantry and they do it all their lives. And, pageantry is there's no age or height requirement or anything like that, so it's much more easier.
Actually,
and then once girls expire, they go or when you start modeling, you go into it. Like Alita, she started modeling. She was doing Miss Boston with me, and then she got into Miss Mass.
You're talking about Alita D'Angona, who was Miss Massachusetts 2011.
Yes, so even with Sarah, too. I hired her for Couture Fashion Week in 2010. She was 18. She never did pageants.
Yeah, she did.
And then she came and applied last summer, and look.
Let's address the height thing for a second. You said pageants are open up to all heights. How tall are you, Scarlette?
I believe, exactly 5'4".
5'4".
So I'm kind of little.
That's why I'm saying, at 5'4", obviously, runway is tough.
Yeah.
It's very tough. I mean, how tall are you, Amarie? 5'7"?
5'7.5".
5'7.5". I love when girls do that half thing. A lot of models do that.
It's very important.
It's very important.
Right? Very important.
Gives you that half an inch more.
Yeah, and that just goes to prove your point that 5'4", you want a pageant, which is awesome. And yeah, those smaller girls. And it is kind of tough though, seeing some of the shorter, petite girls up against the taller girls. I'm sure that there is a perception maybe they don't belong. But as long as
look
as long
at
as you
Olivia
believe it.
Culpo. I mean, she's short.
Right. Well, she's short by Miss USA standards, though, isn't she? Isn't she 5'7"?
Yeah, she's about my height.
Yeah, I think she's still 5 foot. I think,
Yeah,
like I said,
think she was still short for that.
that's what I'm saying. In
though.
comparison to most of the girls that are on the stage, well, therein lies the question too. When I was at the pageant up at the Lowell Memorial Auditorium, most of the young ladies that were in the finals did seem a little bit on the tall side.
Yeah.
Again, that's the perception thing. I was wondering if people realize that, because that's something I would look at. It's like, hey, they all look like at least 5'7".
I mean, it definitely varies. I mean, because there's been so many beauty queens. Like you look at Eva Longoria, she was a former Miss Texas USA. So you just never know. I mean, it's the luck of the draw. I say if you have that total package and you're short and you can take that stage, you got it. You could be tall, but I mean, it depends. I don't know.
Well,
so many different scenarios.
The good thing about the Miss USA system is you don't need a talent. But if you did have have to go in the Miss America, do you have a talent,
This
Scarlett?
is going to be great.
I do.
What's your talent?
I have a couple of talents. My first talent, I love to sing. I have been singing and doing theater since I was a little girl. I used to sing in church with my sisters and
choir girl.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, and also I love to cook. I don't know if I could be up there cooking up there, but
yeah, sure. Well, we're gonna next talent cooking segment. Out comes a big stove, and I was like, okay, this
stove.
is
I have my chef hat on.
You'd have to make enough to share with everybody, though. That's gonna be kind of fun,
Absolutely.
especially in 5 minutes or something like that. So now, what are the types of stuff you are doing as a pageant queen?
As a pageant queen, Eva has been great. She has been booking me for certain things like this tonight, being with you guys here. Also, I was able to VIP host the Synergy events this past New Year's Eve.
the New Year's Eve Bond Girl event, right? Oh, that must have been pretty cool.
Oh, it was cool. It was really nice. It was a good time, and it was nice to show off my title holder now and everything, and it was just great. It was a good time.
So let me ask this question to Eva: do they get Sarah give her sash to Scarlett, or do you get new ones for them?
No, they all get new ones.
Oh, okay, a little bit extra.
I mean, I don't think Olivia Culpo gave her sash.
I'm just asking. I mean, there's another situation where
preliminary.
Who was the girl that was first runner-up at Miss USA?
Miss
USA?
Georgia. I believe. I mean, no, Miss Maryland.
Maryland. Okay, cool.
Sorry.
Keeping it in the Northeast. That's why.
But they recrowned her during her news.
Oh, cool.
So basically,
she got a little bit of
we're
fanfare.
Like really busy. The girls have a TV interview this week. Last week they actually were at the Veterans Shelter, passing out desserts.
Now, when you say girls, you're also talking about the teen winner as well, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
And the other, the Princess Division and Little Miss, and they're going to be doing the St. Patrick's Parade. I'm going to do a Sharks appearance.
The one in Boston or the one in Worcester?
The one in Worcester County.
Oh, the one in Worcester County. Okay.
Yes. And it's huge, so.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it is.
You get ready to freeze your buns off on that.
I know.
Yeah.
Dress
hopefully
warmly.
it's nice out. Last
well, I mean,
year
sometimes
it was really
it's a
nice.
crap.
Yeah, last year it was really
so
nice.
So maybe, hopefully.
You never know that time of year. It could be just about anything at that time of year.
Yeah.
So what, the next pageant is going to be in July, is that correct?
July 13th.
She's already got the date. Look at her. Very
I was
efficient.
just about to ask what the next step is.
Yeah.
From here.
I was actually fortunate enough that I don't know if you saw it, but the mayor actually gave me a proclamation.
Yes, I did say that.
It is considered the National Beauty Day of Worcester County.
That's awesome.
Wow, that's amazing.
For July 13th. So every year it's going to be on July 13th. So
That's awesome.
I'm
so
really
now,
excited.
when you got the crown and the sash, how many minutes did you spend in the mirror before you took it off?
Don't lie.
Don't lie. Yes,
don't
exactly. Because that's a great feeling. It's got to be a great feeling. I do it all the time. But, how many minutes did you spend? Just like 20, 30 minutes before you decided? Okay.
Oh my gosh, I at first I actually had gotten a call from Eva, and she was like, Sarah won Miss Massachusetts, so guess what that means? You're the new Miss Central Mass. And basically I was just on the phone, so I didn't really get my crown and sash before that time, and I was like, oh my god, is this real? Like, this is actually happening. And I throughout the pageant, I was lucky enough to make friends with a lot of the girls.
That's
and
great.
And yeah, that was like, initially that was my purpose. I was just moving into a new area. I didn't know a lot of girls, and I was like, you know what, why don't I just do this pageant? This is my first pageant ever, actually.
So you
I've
were
never
brand
done
new
it
to the
before.
Worcester area too, right?
Yeah, brand
okay.
new, yep. Mm-hmm.
Where were
and
you
just
from
to
originally?
put it out there, the reason why she doesn't have a crown, it got stolen at the Synergy event.
It sure
you're
did.
kidding.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't expect her to walk in with a crown, but that's okay.
But if you guys were wondering where it was,
Oh yeah.
then when
Well,
you
yeah.
guys put this
Beauty
video
queens walk
out-
around with their tiaras all over the place,
Actually,
right?
they typically do, don't they?
Yeah,
Well,
they
in
did.
public, yeah, but
I
this is
mean,
radio,
because
so-
Sarah was on the show, and usually.
Oh, that's
every
right.
time-
Sarah did wear her crown
Yeah.
when she was on the show.
So,
Isn't that kind of fortuitous? I mean, she was sitting next to Alita on our show, the former Miss Massachusetts and the future Miss Massachusetts.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
They were sitting together. That was really kind of interesting.
That just
Yeah.
goes to show how the law of attraction works with basically everything.
That's true. That's absolutely true. So where are you from originally then, since you just moved to this area?
Originally, I am from Connecticut.
Okay,
and
not
then
too far away.
Yeah, not
Still
too
a
far
Yankee.
away.
Okay, go ahead.
And then my girlfriend and I, we moved to Atlanta, Georgia. Did not work out. Then we moved back to Worcester and then just stuck in Massachusetts. We were like, this is the place for us.
Didn't like
and-
Atlanta very much, huh?
No.
That's your current mate, right, Kayla?
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes,
Now
Kayla.
we can talk about your sexual orientation, can we not?
We absolutely
Okay.
can.
And how long have you known Kayla?
I've known her for 3 years.
3 years. That's
Yes,
awesome.
we've been dating for 3 years.
Very good.
Mm-hmm.
And how did that play for you in a pageant like that? Did that have any pro or cons for you at all?
Honestly, I was basically brutally honest throughout the whole time. When the judges actually interviewed me, they asked me, who my celebrity role model was, and I said Ellen DeGeneres. And it's not something that I'm shy about. It's not something that I'm ashamed about, and it's actually something that I am. I love about myself, and I've learned to as,
That's excellent.
yeah.
Actually, Ellen DeGeneres should be a role model regardless.
She
of her
is,
sexual
yeah,
orientation. She's a giving
absolutely.
girl. She's funny. She's very, very successful. I mean, she's a great woman.
Absolutely.
So now, Atlanta didn't work out. Why? I mean, if you don't mind my asking, was it because of your situation, or just was it? Because I know that's the Bible Belt, and that's a tough place to be.
It was. I think it did have a lot to do with it. My partner Kayla, she couldn't find a job. There were people down there that were telling her that she should grow her hair out and start wearing like more feminine clothes, and it was just a little bit backwards for us. And the Northeast is just a little bit more progressive, and we just fit in here a little bit
Come on
more.
back to Massachusetts. We'll take you.
Yeah.
We're good here.
I'll stay.
We love everybody
And
here.
it shows we're coming a long way because she was first runner-up,
Right.
being openly.
Right. Exactly.
Her orientation, being open about it. So I admire that because you could have kept it away and she didn't.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, look at the United
knew
States
she
right
was.
now, and the United States is slowly but surely accepting it from state to state. It takes time.
Yeah.
You can't change people's attitudes overnight,
Yeah.
don't
so what's in the
discriminate.
future now? We know we're doing a photo shoot ourselves this week for
I know.
Performer.com Models and Talent magazine.
I'm very
and we're looking
excited.
forward to that. We're going to be doing that with designer Samuel Vartan, who's
Love
anxiously
him.
waiting for your measurements and
Sizzling.
everything else to fit you. But we're going to take care
I
of that
know.
after
I
the
was
show.
asking her today. I was like, "When were you going to tell me that your crown got stolen? What if the shoot was supposed to be today, guys?"
I
Yeah,
know.
it was supposed to
So
be there.
I was
It
like, "What
was.
was I supposed to do? Running around like going all over the place?"
Yeah, I know.
I just want to know who stole the crown and for what
Yeah,
reason.
I
there's
hope-
quite some drunk people.
I
And
hope
better
it
yet,
looks
There's a
good on
special
them, whoever it was.
reward.
Don't you ever want to know like where the crown is right now?
Yes, I know.
So we're going to do that shoot this week. And what else you got planned in the future?
Well, I am currently a CNA, and I want to,
Oh, so nice.
I want to further my education and become a registered nurse.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
Well, we hope to have you back again really soon, you and Eva. And we can't wait till that photo shoot comes up this weekend. This week, excuse me, I
Yes.
should say. Thank you very much, Scarlett. Thank you, Eva, for dropping by.
Thank
Thank
We're
you
going to take
so
a
much
quick
for
break.
having us.
Actually, right now, we're going to take a listen to this track from Amir, who will be in our studio in 2 weeks from now. That's going to be awesome. Take a listen to it.
Take no prisoners, hold the line and shoot the blame. There's something in us, can't let go. We've changed. Words don't come easily anymore. And when they do, they come
interviewing the best talent Boston has to offer. This is the Performer Radio Show on Unregular Radio.
And we're back again. This time we have Mr. SJ Torres in the house and his trusty sidekick, Dave Larkin. And Dave is the Dirty Water News editor, and SJ is the Dirty Water News owner, CEO, president, chief, king.
Publisher, producer.
You do it all, right, SJ?
Delivery guy, you got it.
As a fellow publisher, we do it all, don't we? Everything. It is a pain, isn't it? I mean, you do it every 2 weeks too. So God love you. I don't have to do it. I do it every 3 months. We do ours quarterly. Yes, Dave. Because I know you do a lot of that too.
I was doing that today.
You do, yeah, exactly. Well, yours is more of a newspaper format. Okay, so how do people perceive that versus like a regular magazine? I mean, do they look at it more for news? How does it, like, my point is that are people rushing, let's get the latest issue, let's see what's going on, or do people like think of it as like something that they look at for the articles, mostly for the in-depth stuff? Which is more favorable to most people, the quick listings or the in-depth stuff?
Well, if you're writing on the team, it's the quick read, it's the articles. If you're in the scene, it's to see the pictures of, hey, I was at that bar, I was over here, seeing if you're in the paper, stuff like that. So it's
right. We're going to try and get that mic a little closer to him, Tony, if we can. Can you hold on to that? There we go. So, SJ, now when did you started? You said this was the 80th edition that you put out. When did you start Dirty Water News?
We started it almost 3 years ago. Almost 3 years ago.
3 years ago. Now, what was the catalyst that said, okay, I want to go put this newspaper out?
Oh, this is a great story. Mike, you just laid it up there for
All right, I'll sit back. Go ahead.
I'm going to knock it right out of the park.
The floor.
I was a big sponsor of Barstool Sports. And that guy just kept on ragging on, El Presidente. He kept on ragging on good people. And like friends of mine, like Scott Zolak, David Kraft, owner of the Patriots, did something on him, and Dave called me and says, listen, you pay that guy a lot of money, can you have him take that blog down? It was a really vicious blog that had no truth. Scott Zolak, same thing.
And he's now the radio broadcaster.
He's a big deal. He's a nice guy.
Yeah.
He went after Scott Zolak, and my partner, Paul Holian, in The Place and Howl at the Moon and Down Ultra Lounge, that's his brother-in-law. So he went after him hard, calling him a liar and all these F-bombs and all these other things. About some story that he said on the air. And so I called him and said, listen, that's my partner's brother-in-law. If you don't take that down, then we're going to drop you as a client. And not only am I going to drop you as a client, I'm going to start up Dirty Water News and be your competitor and put you out of business.
Oh, wow. That. So it was pretty much out of anger,
It was out of, we were talking about Dirty Water News anyway.
Oh, you were, okay.
But that was the thing.
That was the push. It's like, okay, we're going to do it now. Absolutely. Now, when you first, perceived what the newspaper would look like, I'll say magazine, periodical, the publication, is it the same as how you envisioned it at that time as it is right now?
Well, one of my friends from college and fraternity brothers, Colin Young, he has a newspaper on the Vineyard called Vineyard This Week, MV This Week. Martha's Vineyard This Week, and he does it just in the summer. It's seasonal.
Yeah, well, I think so. There's nobody there. This is seagulls in the wintertime. But go ahead.
So he's our main guy. He's one of our main partners there. He handled the design of the paper and what worked and didn't work. He had 10 years of experience, and he got us started. And he works with us every 2 weeks. Works with me and Dave, and we get a paper out. We don't have the luxury though of the content that you have.
What content are you referring to, SJ?
We need to get your content as a part of our paper.
I'm all for that.
I think we have to do that.
I agree.
A little cross collaboration.
SJ made that offer about 20 minutes.
Did he really?
It's a win-win. My wife's not going to like it, but I'm all in.
No, I'm all for that. Because really what Performer.com Models and Talent magazine is all about is promoting the people that are in the industry. Okay, we want the people outside of the industry to know the people in the industry, not what they're doing in the spotlight, but who they really are. You know, what makes them tick, what their thoughts are, their desires are, that type of stuff. We want to get more in depth with these people, and also introduce the talent pool that Boston and New England has to the rest of the world, because everyone online is looking at our magazine online all across the world. We have Bolivia, we have Slovakia, we have all kinds of places.
It's amazing how, especially with our website too, all over the world. You would think Dirty Water News was all Boston.
Right.
But you wouldn't believe that the demographics that we cross all around the world.
Oddly enough, Dave, we get a lot of people from England looking at our magazine online. Why? Because Boston is actually a very big hotspot for people from England. This is the Logan Airport is the one hub they usually travel to get to the United States.
Actually, can we do a quick history lesson? Why is it called Dirty Water News?
Yes, go ahead, SJ. That's your thing.
Sing it.
That song, I love that dirty water.
See, and unfortunately, people under a certain age don't know that song.
Yeah.
And
Boston, you're my home.
And they don't know that the dirty water they're referring to was the Charles River in the Boston Harbor, which was a pretty big mess back in the day.
Wait, who was the band that did that song to you?
The Mandels. Right?
Okay, the Mandels.
Yes, we're talking.
Great.
That's ancient history.
Amarie, did you know that?
I had no idea, and I think it's even more epic now.
It's a Boston song.
I
It's a
love
Boston
that.
song.
Yeah.
And there was a funny thing, like way back, I think it was like in the mid-'90s, I was working with the group Extreme, and they said, hey, Mike, come on down to the Esplanade. We're going to be singing Dirty Water. I was like, oh, you're doing one song? He goes, no, you don't understand. Everybody's going to be singing Dirty Water. I was like, what do you mean? Every single band, Jay Giles, guys from Boston, guys from Aerosmith, all came down there, and for the whole entire day, for like 7 or 8 hours, it was just the song Dirty Water continuously. They just swapped out.
Amazing.
They just swapped out players and singers and everything else like that. And there was a crowd of several thousand people listening to the same song over and over and over again for 8 straight hours. It was a beautiful sunny summer day, and we were basically doing a live webcast in the sense that we were basically doing text, because back then we were talking about mid-'90s and we were just getting on the internet at that time. But that's the last thing that I remember about that song that was really just, mind-boggling. And a lot of people since then, but Dirty Water News, Dirty Water TV now. And when did you start with Nissen on Dirty Water TV?
Well, our main partner in Dirty Water TV, the president of Dirty Water TV, is Billy Fairweather.
Okay.
He used to work with ESPN. He has Emmys on his fireplace, working with Chris Berman and all that stuff. So he's the one that came to me, and Jimmy Clark, who works Channel 56 and Channel 4 now, does a lot of the editing for it. He came to me and said he wanted to do it. And I said, let's do it. When we first started, we had like 2 clients, the greatest bar in the place.
So it's kind of like really what we're doing too. Well, we took our publication and we said we're going to turn this into a radio show. So you did the same thing and turned your newspaper into a television show.
The television show came first.
Oh, really?
The television show came first, and then we created the paper to complement it.
Oh, okay. So it was the other way around for you guys.
So what's your outreach in terms of your newspaper? How many readers? How many? You said 350 boxes earlier today?
350 boxes and 300 bars and other locations that we distribute the paper.
That's phenomenal.
Awesome, man. Awesome.
And they're all over Boston. Anywhere you see an Improper box, basically we're right next to it.
Okay.
Did you ever think this idea would get this big?
When you're swimming 1 trillion miles, your head's down, and every now and then you look up, and your head goes back down, and that's kind of where we're at as a company.
Right.
We get bigger and bigger every year, but we just put our heads back down in the water and keep swimming.
Now, of course, your establishments are featured in the newspaper a lot. Why not?
Yeah.
And that you own The Place, Down, Ultra Lounge, Howl at the Moon, and you also had, for a while, you had a stake in the Greatest Bar too, correct?
Yes.
Yep.
Yep.
But you recently sold that off.
Yes.
And now, is that to concentrate more on Dirty Water or the other venues specifically, or too much?
It's just a lot of things, a lot of people involved. And I want to concentrate on Dirty Water and continue to grow the brand. I think it's fun.
Now, being broadcast on Nissen, that's all of New England.
Yes.
Okay. And like you were just saying, like Dave was alluding to a little while ago, you are thinking about going beyond the borders of New England. Are you going to think about going to other outlets, broadcast outlets, or at this point? Or
we talk about it.
You talk about it?
I'm not exactly sure how we get there with our name. Our name kind of limits us.
Right.
Maybe. I mean, if you brand it and people understand it eventually, I think they'll understand that it's a Boston-based thing. And like Dave said, I mean, there's a lot of eyes on Boston outside of this area, too. I mean, look at every time the Red Sox play in Baltimore, it's more like Fenway Park South and Florida and places like that. You got a lot of Boston fans, and some of your stuff is based in sports. You have the Gronk on for the Nightlife Awards. I'm pretty sure that some people out there would be willing to, take a look at what's going on in Boston. There's a lot of displaced Bostonians out there, and they'd probably, hey, let's tune into Dirty Water this week and find out what's going on. But they can definitely see you on the web, right? Why don't you give us your web address?
It's www.dirtywaternews.com.
And that's for the TV as well? Or is
and www.dirtywatertv.com.
Okay, great. So they can still go and see the full broadcasts on there.
Absolutely.
That's great.
Yeah. Dave, quick question. So you said you do everything when it comes to Dirty Water. Can you explain to us what's the day in the life of Mr. Dave Larkin and working with your best friend SJ over there?
It's a trip. It's definitely a trip. Basically, it starts on he actually picks me up out at my house. We talk about the paper going into town, and then we start yelling at each other.
I lock the office door to let him out.
Yeah. For like 2 hours, we yell at each other. Then we, as the articles come in, and we just keep doing stuff. And then right now we're actually on off time because we're waiting for the rest of the stuff to come in. We'll finish it up on Wednesday. Okay. Goes to the printers Wednesday night. And then I'm the oldest delivery boy that I know.
Still delivering newspapers at your age, huh, Dave?
You got to do what you got to do.
Well, no, yeah, at certain points you have to be a jack of all trades.
Yeah, when you love the paper as much as I do, it's fun.
Well, I'm the same way. I do some of the photography, I do some of the writing, I do the layout. We have to order the printing, we have to hand deliver them sometimes some places.
Yep. Exactly.
And that's exactly the same thing.
So
of course, we don't do it every 3 months, not every 2 weeks.
I am so jealous.
Yeah, I know.
A lot of work.
Well, trust me, we still have to do a lot of work, just like you. I mean, we got other things just like you guys.
And don't they say it's not really called a job if you love it?
True.
That's true.
She's actually, she's very right. We do love this kind of thing. And yeah, of course, it doesn't hurt to have gorgeous women in the mix and great people and beautiful music and all this other stuff that we get to listen to all the time. So what do you think is going to be in the future now? Are you going to keep doing this? And do you see it expanding to once a week? Look at Dave.
No, I don't. No. We're starting to break into events. Like we've had a very successful event. Tony was there, the Nightlife Awards, and you were there also.
I was there too. Yeah. Yes.
Nightlife Awards, we do that yearly, and we just started Dirty Water pub crawls.
Oh, so it's like okay, that's cool.
So we're starting to do more pub crawls, and then we want to have a Halloween party and a New Year's Eve party. So,
The pub crawls are once a month? What's the period?
The pub crawls are about once every 2 months.
So it's bi-monthly.
What's the purpose of the pub crawl? To get
drunk.
At least he's honest. Yes, that's what they do in Boston.
Is it a meet and greet? Is it like a singles kind of thing? Or is this like
the next...
Of course you're going to meet people.
The next pub crawl is actually February 14th for all the singles on Valentine's Day.
And I just heard, SJ, that Boston's the #1 drinking city in the United States.
It is. You saw that.
I'm pretty sure that works in your favor, correct? I mean, how long have you owned the place?
Going on 13 years.
13 years. That's definitely a college kind of vibe to it. And down is the more sophisticated.
Yeah.
And Howl at the Moon, the great thing I love about Howl at the Moon is this. I'll go by on a Saturday night and I'll look at the line and I'm saying, okay, there's this girl that maybe is 21, and then next to her is this gray-haired guy with a ponytail, and he probably looks like 50, and then looks like somebody's grandmother. I'm like, what the heck is going on?
And
they go in there and they have a great time. It's like a family atmosphere, huh?
It really is. The audience is so diverse, all age groups. They play rock and roll. They play the latest tunes. I mean...
And for people that don't know, this is a piano bar.
Rock and roll piano bar that plays all genres.
And yeah, well, you basically, I mean, food and drink. It's more of a let's come over, have a party in our house type of thing. We'll play some music, we'll eat, we'll drink, we'll talk, and it's a very family kind of vibe. Not saying that bring little kids, but I'm just saying you feel more like it's family, not like the regular club where everyone buys bottles and pretends that they're somebody. You know what I'm saying?
No, never seen that.
Never seen that happen. You never
Never seen that happen.
But you know what I'm saying? It seems less stuffy, less stuck up, more, like I said, friendly.
Yep.
I think that's what the appeal is. I mean, when you see people of all ages, races, and colors go lining up to walk into this place, place. I think that's phenomenal. Especially in this day and age, you know?
But if you want to get a VIP table, Down has those.
Yeah,
okay,
Down
right.
does.
So if you still want to act stuck up, just go downstairs. No, I'm just kidding. I'm sure it's a great crowd both at Down.
So what do
It
people
is.
have to do to RSVP for those wonderful nights at Down and Hall at the Moon, the place? Is there a
Who do they
central
contact?
website?
Yeah, they contact. They go to. If you're going to go to Down, you go to downultralounge.com.
Okay.
And there's, click on VIP tables or private parties, and Ashley Gordon will get back in touch with you. And that's the same thing for Howl at the Moon. It's howlatthemoon.com. You go to Howl at the Moon, you click on Boston, it takes you to our people. You contact
that's
Ashley
a chain
Gordon.
now, isn't it? That's a
Yeah,
single.
we're partners with a chain. It's a
Right,
national
okay.
chain. They own 16 to 17 locations nationally.
Right.
We're the only partner. in the
I
country.
heard you were opening up another one somewhere.
We're working on opening one in Foxborough, yeah.
There you go.
Whoa,
That would be a great place to have it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Especially after a game. Everyone just go in there and a great, if they win, of course. Actually, we are also getting revved up for the Revs this year, too. We have an association with the New England Revolution down there, too.
Yes, we
a
do,
couple
yeah.
of our young models are going to be Rev girls this year coming up. That's a great location. So if you get down there, I'm sure you'll have a lot of success.
We're working on it,
location. So you got those establishments. And what do you do for fun, SJ? Or do you have time for fun like me?
Do you actually
Not have
go
time.
to your bars and the clubs that you own? Do you ever
He's there all the
attend?
time. I've seen him.
I'm there all the time. I don't really hang out very much,
So
I
what
used
do
to
you
hang
do?
out at the place a
All
long
right,
time
no,
ago.
hold on a second.
There we go.
This is the same guy, all right? We were partners in a bar in Rhode Island a few years ago. This guy, at 30 paces, can find a straw on a chair that's out of place. So he is meticulous when it comes to the bars. He knows everything that's going on. Don't let him fool you. He has eyes like a hawk.
So when you're partying, you're not really partying.
He's
No, if
watching.
I'm in one of my locations, I'm not really partying.
Right.
So you're working all the time.
It's all about service and get people working together. And
You're a lot like me. When we do our engagements, I'm
Yeah.
always working constantly. I just can't sit still. That's just the way it is.
Can't be idle.
So
Cannot
what
be
do
idle.
you do for fun? Do you have any downtime at all?
I've got twins, and 1.5-year-old twins and a 3.5-year-old boy. My oldest son's
You definitely
He's
don't
always
have any
happy to show you
downtime.
There's
trust.
no
Downtime.
downtime. Hey, Greg Hill from WAAF put it best. When I told him I was having twins, my first son's name is Maverick. He's 3.5, and I said I'm having twins, and Greg Hill put his arm around me and he goes, "I'll see you in 10 years."
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm like, "What are you
just-
talking about?"
I
My
just
wife
met-
will handle it.
I just
you know?
met Greg
Yeah.
a couple weeks ago, too, when we took Jessica for her
Yeah.
interview at WAF, which was a great interview. Well, thank you very much, SJ, for coming by, and Dave. We really appreciate
Thank
you guys
you.
coming
Yeah.
down and
Thank you.
talking to us about what's happening in this city, because this is all what this show is all about, what's happening in Boston and, of course, in this area, and promoting artists and venues, and where people can get together and have a good time is what we're trying to put out there. All right, we'll be back in just a few minutes with another lovely model, Ellysa, and photographer, Mr. Eric Snyder.
Cool.
Vanessa Williams has one of the best voices in modern music. Did you ever wonder what got her hooked on music when she was growing up?
My fondest memory of music in school would have to be playing French horn in the high school orchestra. Under the direction of Mr. Angelo Marasco, we got a chance to travel all over the world. We went to Caracas, Venezuela, Miami, Florida, Nassau, Bahamas, and Seekonk, Massachusetts.
Music is like team sports, says Williams. Kids are in it together.
Music is good for kids because it teaches you a craft. It demands perfection. It forces you to excel. And it also allows you to be a part of something beautiful that makes wonderful music that transcends all kind of boundaries.
A PSA brought to you by MENC, the National Association for Music Education, Gibson Guitar, Baldwin Piano, and this station. Music, part of a sound education.
All right, listen up. There's a new law out there that's aimed at you if you're under 18. And if you get busted, it can do a number on your social life. Now, I'm going to tell you exactly what that means in case you can't figure it out for yourself. You pull up in front of your date's house. In the car. You say, "You're looking hot tonight, baby." And then you escort her to the car. You open the door and she climbs in the back seat. Cause tonight you ain't gonna be the one driving the car. You got busted for buying tobacco by a big old grinning cop in a car. And the judge took your license away, so you can't drive the car. Instead your daddy is driving the car. Or your mama is driving the car. Or your Uncle Roy is driving the car. Or your Aunt Harriet is driving the car. You and little Miss Pretty are sitting in the back seat while someone else is driving the car. She's looking like the queen of the Nile, and you're looking like a scrub, cause you can't drive the car. They took your license away and left you with a big fat red L on your forehead. So now I ask you, is tobacco worth it?
Models, singers, comedians, dancers, and so much more. This is the Performer Radio Show.
And we're back again. And now we have the lovely Ellysa in the house. Boy, you look gorgeous tonight. Absolutely gorgeous.
Thank you.
And this photographer, I've known him for a little while now. Hello. His name is Eric Snyder. Hello. He's based on the north. Hey, hello, Eric.
Hello.
How are we doing? Good. Eric came down here from, you live New Hampshire. Both of you live in New Hampshire, don't you?
Yep.
Thank you for coming down all that way to lovely Boston.
Thank you for having me.
At least on a Tuesday, the traffic wasn't bad, was it?
No.
Not too bad.
Yeah, okay, good. Now, Ellysa, you've been doing some interesting things lately, haven't you?
Yeah.
I'm talking about on TV. Now, how did that fall in your lap? She's on a TV show, a reality show, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And you are the girlfriend of one of the cast members,
Yes.
pretty much? But you are literally the girlfriend of the cast member.
Yeah.
Yes.
Real life too.
Real life. Where real life is on reality show. How about that, folks?
Right.
You know, and so how long have you guys been going out?
Basically, we've been in a long distance relationship for like 2 years.
2 years, folks.
And
wow.
We finally got to meet in August, so that's when I started filming for Black Gold.
So, okay, you were in a relationship online for most of the time.
Skype relationship.
Wow.
For 2 years?
2 years?
Wow.
It
My hat
actually
goes off to you.
Honestly, it worked out really well.
So I guess it works now, huh?
Yeah.
That's awesome. So 2 years. So you met him for the first time in where? June, you said?
In August.
August, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And how was that feeling?
I mean, it was amazing. Like, I finally got to see him in person. I was so excited.
Was it the same? Because I feel like my fear with that would be that we would have this connection, but in person it would be different.
I was nervous, but no, it was completely fine. I mean, it was a little awkward, at first. I was like, oh, geez, but it was good. We're fine.
Yeah, you can honestly say that the Skype cameras and everything else doesn't look that clear. So,
yeah.
I mean, like...
Wait, why do you have three noses?
Yeah. I was like, so if he didn't look good and you went all the way down to Texas to
or
meet
if
him,
it wasn't really him, like
if
that show
well,
Catfish.
I'm pretty sure he couldn't fake that.
It was a real life catfish. Like that
It
show
was
a real life catfish.
But you know what? He was real and I was real, so
That's awesome. And now you're on a real reality TV show.
Yeah.
Now he works on a golf platform, right? An oil rig?
Oil rig.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And that's what the show is about, correct?
It is.
Yes.
So I went on film right when I met him, so I was a little nervous, being
They
on
just said, okay, you're the real girlfriend now. Come on, let's do this thing.
Yep.
Just put the camera on you. Because you weren't cast in the role. You were
I
already...
was kind of just like an extra.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
So how does it feel to have your relationship not on Skype now, but on television for everybody to see?
I mean, it feels wonderful. Like, I love it. Like, we're taking it off camera now. We're trying to move in with each other. So, like, we're taking the next step. And
Are you going to be moving to Texas?
I don't know. He
not a
might
bad
come
place
where
to live.
I am because, I got things going on I need to do, so...
He was actually at our Beantown Beauty Calendar release. She is one of the Beantown Beauty Calendar models as well. And did he have a good time that night?
He did. He
Okay,
loves
good.
Boston. We went to New York City, and...
Yeah, that's a good thing about Boston is if you do really love nightlife and theater, New York is only a few hours
Yeah.
away, which is great. In Texas, everything is like hours and hours and
It
hours
is,
away. I
it
mean,
is.
it's a big state to navigate through. Now, you're going back to Texas in 2 days, correct?
I am.
Yes. You got more filming to do down there?
No, filming's all done. It's actually on the air right now, so
Oh,
you
so
can
okay.
see it on Wednesdays at 10 o'clock.
So you get to bask in your glory now, running
Yeah,
around
it's
Texas.
a little weird, watching myself, but...
Oh, you were great on camera, so I don't think it's weird for anybody else. Now, Eric is one of your photographers as well,
Yeah.
being a model, correct? And you guys have been working together for how long, Eric?
I'd say about a year I've known Ellysa.
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah.
and now most of that stuff is high fashion photography that you've been doing?
Yep,
Yeah, exactly. What was your favorite shoot with Eric? Just curious, in terms of the vibe or the theme.
We actually just did a recent one, like a week ago.
Yeah, I'd say that had to be our more.
What was that, Eric? What kind of theme was that?
That was a concept. It was a Red Riding Hood concept.
Red Riding Hood. Ooh.
Out in the snow in the woods.
I don't know. We just said, ooh,
was-
it sounds nasty the way we said it. I don't know.
I know, right?
It's supposed to be some innocent fairy tale.
I meant
We're
it in a
like,
very
ooh.
cute way.
We were like, okay, yeah, we're all a bunch of perverts in this room. That's all I was saying. But now,
No, not Little Red Riding Hood, just Red Riding Hood.
Oh, okay. Well,
Just
okay.
Red
So
Riding
she's
Hood.
graduated. Okay, that's good. How did you develop this theme in your head? Were you just perusing a children's book one day and said, "I got to do this"?
No, actually, that movie that came out a year or so ago, saw some previews for it, and I thought that was amazing look with that red in
Oh,
contrast
yeah, I do
with the
remember
snow.
that. Yes.
And up there in New Hampshire with the woods, so this would be
We
great.
got plenty of woods up there, and
Yep.
you got plenty of snow up there, so you got
Yep.
the right setting for it. Was it a cold day when you shot?
It was kind of cold. I had a jacket on and everything, bundled up under the red cape, so I kind of was hiding.
Yeah, I mean, Eric, you obviously do a lot of location shots, right?
Yes.
That's a tough thing for some. Most people don't think, oh, it's just a model, she's fine. It's tough because you're out there sometimes for hours on end, and let's be honest, sometimes the clothing is not very warm.
Or the equipment doesn't adapt.
Yeah, I mean, there's always some problems like that, but under extreme weather conditions, it's tough for the models as well as the photographers.
I think the hardest part was she had these huge 6-inch heels, and we had to go through a foot of snow.
We were walking forever in the snow, and I had these boot heels on, and I'm dying. I fell.
See, folks, that's how hard it is to be a model. In
It's
this
not easy to
day.
be a model.
And I'm assuming the pictures came out great.
Absolutely.
Where can people see the pictures, Eric?
They can see them at on my website at www.easphotography.info.
Okay, .info, folks. Don't forget that. And Ellysa, do you have any social media up or where people can take a look at some of your stuff?
Right now, I'm redoing my Model Mayhem website. I'm going under all construction, so I just have Facebook right now.
Do you have a Facebook fan page or just a personal page?
I have my fan page up.
Okay, what's your fan page? Do you have the name for
It's
that?
just my name, Ellysa Spenard.
Okay.
And
let's spell that out. It's ELLYSA and Spenard.
SPENARD.
That's correct. Okay, because sometimes people spell Ellysa a little bit
All the
differently.
time, I'm used to it.
Yeah, because yours is a more unique spelling.
Yep.
How long have you been in the business, Ellysa?
Maybe like 3 or 4 years now.
3 or 4 years.
But kind of taking it more serious right now.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's good. I mean, a lot of girls will do that. They'll
Yeah.
dabble in it for a little while. Then one day somebody says, I think I'd like to do this professionally.
Yeah.
And you're 5'9", is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so you're perfect for runway, especially in Boston. And Eric, now you've been a photographer for many, many years. How long have you been doing this professionally?
It's professionally probably the last 7 years.
7 years. Okay.
Started back in '95 when I was in the military, going around all around the world, traveling to Italy.
Wow.
Once I was in Italy one time, I took some photos, and people were like, that is a gorgeous postcard. I'm like, that's not a postcard. I took that. And that little light popped in my head. I said,
that was back in the film days.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, actually, it was when the very first digital cameras came out back in '95.
Oh, that's right.
And it cost me like $500 for this 1-inch little screen.
Right, I had an HP PhotoSmart.
Yeah.
Same thing, $500 with a little 2 megabyte card in it, which was ridiculous.
I mean, the inspiration basically started in high school when it was filmed.
I did too,
but
yeah.
I just didn't really take an interest to it until.
Yeah, when digital came along, everything changed.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you could take 1,000 pictures, you wouldn't care. You'd go into Photoshop and everything else. So that was awesome. Now, did you start off taking landscapes and scenery?
Oh, exactly. Started out doing landscape work. I got a lot of great feedback from it. Somebody said to me a couple times, "You need to sell this. You need to sell this." I'm like, I don't know how to sell it. Eventually, I just put them up online and sold my first print, and that's basically where it started, getting the ball rolling.
And now you've segued to a lot of high fashion stuff, haven't you?
Love it. Absolutely love it.
I mean, just like models like Ellysa and even Amarie, when you dress them up in gorgeous clothes and stick them in front of that camera, something just comes to life, doesn't it?
It does. I mean, it's amazing. I got a lot of great stuff coming up this year. I'm so excited for it. Working with a lot of fashion designers in this area.
That's awesome. And no offense to all the Facebook models out there, but this is the real stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, you can take all those selfies all you want, but we're talking the real thing here.
Duck face.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of those girls do think that like they got something. I'm a model. I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. Yeah, technically you are a model in front of a camera, but it's not the real deal.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask, are you strict about the models you work with, or are you just taking on anybody, or are you strict, like they have to have a certain height, weight?
Not particularly strict, but I do have a lot of clients that come to me that would love to have a photo shoot done.
Yeah.
They're not particularly your high runway fashion models, but what I'd like to gear my work more towards is the fashion industry, very tall, gorgeous models. The one I worked with 2 days ago, she wasn't very tall. She's about 5'6". Hair, makeup, and everything. Got a wardrobe stylist. Absolutely beautiful.
Well, it's not just. I mean, height is obviously important when it comes to runway. Mm-hmm. But in this day and age with print, obviously the young lady or the male could be any height. It's all about attitude, build, how you how you present yourself. I'm sure you've had plenty of smaller women in front of your camera that still had that atmosphere of high fashion.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
We had Jessica at the
right,
studio
Jessica
one time,
Graff, our co-host, yeah.
and she just photographs very tall and she's amazing the way she works the camera.
Right, and it's all about attitude and perception.
She had a great attitude and just definitely knows how to pose yourself in front of the camera.
So you see, even if you're 5'3", like Jessica, you can bring it. But yeah, of course, with high fashion on runway, it is a little different. Ellysa, have you walked in some shows?
I did a show in Las Vegas.
She's
in
right
February.
for the big stuff. Vegas.
Yeah.
Go ahead. February, you said?
Yeah, for a hair show for Paul Mitchell. So it was really, really awesome.
Paul Mitchell.
That's high end.
Yeah.
Are you signed with an agency right now?
I actually was signed with Dynasty, but I'm working with a new agency now.
Okay.
And I'm working on a reality show with Eric.
You're both doing a reality show.
Yeah.
Together. That's awesome.
I'm actually playing a photographer. It's a stretch. So.
Jeez, that's tough, man. I feel for you.
It's a stretch.
Yeah. And is that going to be based up at the studio you work at in Lawrence?
We're going to do some of the stuff's going to be at the studio, but for the most part, it'll be following the day in the life of a model, and not necessarily be doing most of the shooting at the studio. It'll probably be on location.
So we're going to have Ellysa, and the cameras are going to when I
wake up in the morning.
When you wake up in
no makeup.
No makeup?
Yep.
Are you that bold?
Yep. I guess so. I got to agree
I've seen her without any makeup. She looks still beautiful. Because we were at the Beantown Beauties before you got all made up.
Yeah.
Are you willing to have that camera in your face 24/7?
It's okay. I'm used to it now.
Oh, that's right. You do have some good
it.
experience with it. That's definitely.
Yep.
All right. Well, let's hope that's very successful, you guys. Because actually, Eric, then you're going to have a small bit part because the day in the life of a model. I mean, I'm sure that the photo shoot and everything else, but you take the shots out.
Yeah.
But you're going to cover post editing and all that other stuff too.
I'm not quite sure what the producers have in mind for that part. I'm very excited just to actually be part of it because even if I'm not in it. I think we did a video and I had some cameos in it before. We did a video for you guys for Performer.com.
Oh, right, for Jessica's video.
Yeah, and I had a cameo part in it. And I was awesome. So
you love
stuff
that,
like
huh?
that. Yeah,
that's me on the screen. I like that.
I
think I'll do some more of that.
I like to see the final result be what it comes out. So it'd be nice to see what the final results after we're shooting, what they do with it. So.
And are you gonna be pursuing runway in the show, or is it print? What are you going to be pursuing on the show?
That would make a good show to be behind the scenes for a fashion show.
I'm hoping both.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, we can look that up for you in case they need to. I'm sure there's plenty of fashion shows going on in Boston.
Yeah, I like doing it all. Honestly.
That's good. Well, I mean, at 5'9", you can do it all. That's
Get involved with Boston Fashion Weeks.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely.
Thank you very much, guys, for coming all the way down from New Hampshire.
Thank
we
you
really
for
appreciate
having
that.
us.
Good luck with the show on the air right now. What network is it on?
It's on True TV.
True TV.
Wednesday at 10 o'clock.
And what's the name of the show?
Black Gold.
Black Gold. Eric, good luck with your studio.
Thank you.
And actually, I think you might be back here next week when we have Mr. Steve Katsos is going to be coming into the studio with us from the Steve Katsos TV show.
Great guy.
So we're looking very forward to having him here. He was the co-host. He was the host of our Boston Fashion Awards in 2012 as well. All right, everyone, we're going to be here next week, next Tuesday night at 9 o'clock. Please tune in on IDEO.com. Until next week, we're going to say goodbye on behalf of Tony Hyppolite. Say goodbye, Tony.
Goodbye, everybody.
And Miss Amarie Ortiz.
Bye.
Have a good week, everybody.